এবার ব্রিটিশ পার্লামেন্টে জামাতের বিরুদ্ধে অভিযোগ করা হয়েছে। বলা হয়েছে জুলাই আগস্টে যেসব হত্যাকাণ্ড সংঘটিত হয়েছে সেগুলো জামাতের দ্বারা হয়েছে। জামাতকে নিষিদ্ধ করা হয়েছিল সে সময়, এবং সে সময় যে সহিংসতা হয়েছে সেখানে প্রায় 2 শতাধিক মানুষ প্রাণ হারিয়েছেন। লেবার দলের এমপি বেরি গার্ডিনার এমন অভিযোগ করেছেন। তিনি সোমবার ব্রিটিশ পার্লামেন্টে বক্তব্য রাখেন। সেখানে বাংলাদেশের সার্বিক পরিস্থিতি নিয়ে তিনি কথা বলেন। তিনি বলেছেন, বাংলাদেশ এখন ইসলামী রাষ্ট্র, কারণ 1971 সালের সংবিধান 1988 সালে পরিবর্তন করে ইসলামী রাষ্ট্র করা হয়েছে। এর পাশাপাশি তিনি দাবি করেছেন বাংলাদেশের সংখ্যালঘু সম্প্রদায়ের উপর হামলা হচ্ছে, তাদের প্রতি নির্যাতন করা হচ্ছে, এবং বিশেষ করে তিনি ইসকনের নেতা চিন্ময় কৃষ্ণ দাসের গ্রেপ্তারের প্রসঙ্গটি তুলেছেন। তার এই বক্তব্যের পর কনজারভেটিভ দলের প্রীতি প্যাটেল তিনিও একই সুরে কথা বলেছেন। তিনি বলেছেন বাংলাদেশের সার্বিক পরিস্থিতি অত্যন্ত উদ্বেগজনক এবং সেখানে সংখ্যালঘু সম্প্রদায়ের উপর নির্যাতন হচ্ছে। তিনি এ ব্যাপারে সরকারকে জোরালো পদক্ষেপ নেওয়ার আহ্বান জানান।
Since the fall of the previous government in August of this year, Bangladesh has seen more than 2,000 incidents of violence, most of which have been targeted against the minority Hindu community. Hindus make up less than 10% of the Bangladesh population, and my honourable friend will be aware that anti-Hindu violence has been a recurrent event in the country, and indeed the Jamaat-e-Islami party was earlier this year banned after riots in which 200 people were killed. But whilst Bangladesh no longer has the secular constitution of 1971 and became an Islamic state in 1988, there are nonetheless supposed to be protections for minority religions under Articles 28, 39 and others of the Constitution. These appear not to be being enforced, and there are reports of police and army standing by as more than 20 places of minority Hindu and Sufi worship were vandalised and their worshippers attacked. On Friday, this came to a head when extremist groups from the Jamaat-e-Islami party attacked 2 Hindu temples in Chittagong and conducted a campaign of orchestrated violence against the Hindu population. A leading Hindu monk, Chinmoy Krishna Das, who is a former leader of the ISKCON Krishna consciousness movement, has been arrested. ISKCON is a worldwide branch of modern Hinduism with its UK headquarters at Bhaktivedanta Manor in Bushi, many of whose worshippers live in my own constituency of Brent West and the surrounding areas of northwest London. People are concerned that whilst he was engaged in exclusively peaceful protest, he has been denied due process, charged with sedition and refused bail. Yet none of the individuals who attacked the temples has been apprehended or charged. On Saturday, the senior Bangladeshi journalist Muni Saha was taken into police custody following an attack on her car by a large mob in Dhaka and only released under the provisions of the criminal code. The situation is clearly on a knife edge, and with such large diaspora populations in the UK and with large Hindu communities with strong links to the community in Bangladesh, I'd ask my honourable friend what more she can do to have discussions with the Bangladeshi government to ensure that, and with other partners in the region, to ensure that tensions are lowered, the rule of law put into effect, and calm and order restored.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Right Honourable Member for this UQ. It's an important subject, and he's also raised the arrest of the ISKCON leader, and it's a place of worship I too am very familiar with, near his constituency. But, Mr. Speaker, these are deep and long-standing ties between our two countries, and the Minister herself is right to point out that even though she's visited Bangladesh recently, as my right honourable friend, the member opposite, has said, the degree of escalation in the violence is deeply, deeply concerning. And what we are witnessing now is just uncontrolled violence in many quarters. And we are now watching with horror and shock as further violence is spread in Bangladesh. And all our thoughts in this House are most definitely with the diaspora community here and those who are affected in Bangladesh. These are deeply disturbing reports. The Minister herself mentioned the deadly attacks and the violence that took place during what is an auspicious period, the Durga Puja festival in 2021. So given the current instability in Bangladesh and since the departure of the former Prime Minister in August, this is a moment of deep concern. Many governments are condemning the violence and calling for peace and law and order to be restored. So I welcome the comments from the Minister, but I must emphasise that all efforts must be taken now We have a religious leader who has now been arrested. We need to know effectively what is being done to secure his release, due process in particular. But at the same time, can the Minister give details of the government's engagement with the government on this particular matter? What discussions have taken place? And have we been robust in pursuing the right to protect life, the prevention of violence and persecution, and importantly, tolerance for religious belief? What efforts has the government undertaken to build upon the last government's work to promote freedom of religion and belief in Bangladesh? And can the Minister say what discussions are taking place with other international partners to help restore this kind of stability that we desperately need to see in Bangladesh?